Welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Mark Hoff of Pacific Private Money. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Use that number to answer the trivia questions for a 5-pack tanning certificate given away during the show. That certificate's not sponsored by the radio station, but by Tan Bella Tanning Salon with 2 locations in San Francisco and 1 in Marin. And today's trivia theme is, again, completely random questions.
Wow. Well, we'll see how I do this time.
Okay. Yeah, you've been on a roll. You did pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I got 2 out of 3 last show.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
All right, so we're coming toward the end of the year.
Yep.
This is December 14th, and what's our predictions for the rest of this year and next year, Mark?
I'm still waiting for a couple of the California economists that we followed to come out with their predictions, but the national guys are starting to chirp up. In fact, expect continued economic growth, slower real estate price gains, and a small chance for a recession in 2020, according to a group of top economists that were put together by the National Association of Realtors. They had their first ever real estate forecast summit earlier this month, and at that summit, they predicted things like, the average annual 30-year fixed mortgage rates should hover between 3.8 and 4.0 for 2020 and for 2021. Ooh. Now, compare that. I mean, how many years have we been doing this show? And almost every year, at least for the last 5 or if not 6 Decembers in a row, the prediction for mortgage rates has been 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rates are going to increase to 5% by year end.
Yeah.
And it's been wrong every single year. I think this is the first time in 5 years that they're basically coming out and saying, we just don't see the price of money changing a whole heck of a lot for the next 2 years.
2 years, not just one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty amazing. The consensus among those eggheads was that we have about a 30% probability of a recession in 2020. So small. And again, it's funny because I have conversations with people all the time about this, and really, what's likely to happen. I shouldn't say likely. What would trigger a recession in 2020, in my opinion, is a so-called black swan event. I mean, everything that's happening now, as we understand it, is looking in terms of predictable economic trends. Where are housing prices right now? Where's home appreciation? Where are interest rates? What's GDP look like? What's the stability look like politically? It's really the unexpected. We've got the impeachment of Trump going on. What if that actually results in him quitting? That would be a pretty unexpected, surprising. Now, of course, half the country would stand up and applaud, but that could really throw things off, and it could throw stock markets off. It could throw a lot of things off. Could that trigger a recession? I don't know. And then and any number of geopolitical events that are unexpected that come that have a huge could have an impact, could throw the world or the country into a recession.
Well, lately the market's been going up because Trump is saying that he's finishing off a deal with China.
So and that's supposed to happen by this weekend. We're supposed to know, and we're still kind of all holding our breath, waiting. And it's is the stock market going to go down next week, or is it going to go up? Well, it's yes, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And again, this is a national article that I started the show talking about. It said real estate is on firm ground with little chance of price declines, according to NAR's chief economist Larry Yoon. Apartment rents expected to rise. Just now in California, we know that prices have leveled off and have actually been going down. So a little bit. So the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, which is lags about 60 days for the months of May and June, and I believe July did have a year-over-year 1% downward price decline. Not really significant, given that just 2 years ago we were still at a 10% year-over-year price appreciation. So, we're not predicting bargains out there for real estate, but it certainly makes it a little more challenging for those who invest in real estate to flip. You have to really sharpen your pencil. You have to really buy correctly, and you got to make sure that you don't overpay. And we are seeing more and more stories of people who are in the remodel and resell business where everything looks good until they get out on the market and then they lose $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. Yeah, especially those people flipping in the Silicon Valley. I've heard some stories lately of guys that had a great track record of making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 per flip. Then all of a sudden they lose $300,000, $400,000 in one fell swoop because it just, the price per square foot that they were predicting just didn't come to pass. So
And they needed to get out of the house before having it dip some more.
right, exactly. So stay tuned for future shows. There are several economists that we follow that are based in California and predict California activity. I'll be curious to see. In fact, we're going to see in person Peter Thornburg in January at the California Mortgage Association, which is the California Association of Hard Money Lenders, called the California Mortgage Association, and they've invited Doug Thornburg to speak, and I've always respected him, and he's been pretty spot on for many, many years in terms of the California economy, for jobs, for real estate, and for other growth factors. So we'll see how that turns out.
All right.
And but yeah, there's just no reason to fear the Reaper.
A good Blue Oyster Cult
That's right,
song.
Blue Oyster Cult.
All right, guys, we're going to cut, just you and me today. We're going to cut to our first commercial trivia question break here. Which present-day U.S. state did Ponce de Leon explore?
What present-day U.S. state?
Yeah, so one of the 50 United States. One of the states, okay? The 50 United States. What state did Ponce de
I
Leon
have a guess for that,
explore?
which I'll share with you after the commercial break.
Okay. Call 888-912-1190 if you're the first caller with the correct answer. You're going to win that tanning certificate. And I want to make a quick mention here for the Mount View Hotel and Spa in Calistoga. You've been there before, haven't you?
I have. It's really fun.
It's great. They have one of the best pools I think I've ever swam in. And so they're celebrating 100 years of Mount View memories, offering a great value all winter during their slower season when the wineries are not crowded and it's more fun to visit. Check them out at mountviewhotel.com. Stay with us. You're listening to The Best of Investing. We're going to be right back. All right.
I didn't have the minutes for that.
Say it was 7:40. The next one's
okay.
8:35.
8:35, cool.
C'est bon. All right. We can go right into email if you want. Or do you have something that you want to cover as well, sir?
We can chat a little bit more about, I did talk with Josiah, and he's pretty well read, and he was, in our phone call, he was pretty bullish about the economic conditions going forward as well.
Because he's in Beverly Hills.
That's true. Everything's roses there. Hollywood, they keep making money. There's no recession.
Never heard. So you want to continue on with it?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
And then let's see, but from there. Okay.
Once away we go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money. First trivia question was, which present-day U.S. state did Ponce de Leon explore?
Was it Florida?
Yes, it was Florida. Don't we have that in our toothpaste and in our water? Florida, yes. So, Florida. Very good. All right. Mark, do you want to continue on there?
Well, we were talking in the first segment about economic predictions, and they're just starting to come out now. I don't have a whole lot in my that I pulled off the news radars, other than we talked about the economists of the National Association of Realtors that are basically from a national standpoint don't believe that interest rates are going to change a whole lot, mortgage rates that is, but I guess interest rates in general. I mean, that would presume that the Fed is going to kind of hold tight on the cost of money. So you can expect the prime rate to likely remain stable. Long-term mortgage rates are based on the 10-year and long-term mortgage rates, but they just economists at this particular gathering didn't predict that there was going to be anything on there. There's nothing on their radar, I should say, that would lead them to believe that mortgage rates are going to change a whole lot. I was having a conversation with an attorney that is also in the same space we are, lending in the alternative real estate lending space, and he's based down in Southern California. He's got an office in Beverly Hills, and I had a conversation with him just last week, and he was actually really excited because we're actually going to collaborate. He's going to start selling some of our product down there and potentially open up a Beverly Hills office for Pacific Private Money. And he's excited to collaborate because the people that he's been speaking with have led him to believe that that financing, the finance business and the alternative lending space looks like it's going to continue to be on an upward growth path. And why that's important, for listeners out there is that, for the better part of 9 years on the Best of Investing, we've been promoting mortgage debt as a means to earn above market yields. And of course, there have been years during those 9 years where the stock market's done, better than that, better than the 8 to 9% that historically alternative investing in alternative real estate loans was able to provide. But we've been so incredibly consistent, and it's got collateral. I mean, that's really what a lot of people are looking for. If you're looking to invest or a portion of your savings conservatively, and you're looking for collateral, investing in real estate debt, whether you do it through a mortgage pool fund or through individual mortgages called trust deeds here in California, it's the good news is that the demand for alternative loans, e.g. private money or hard money loans, looks like it's going to continue to be on an upward growth path.
Now, why do you think that is?
Well, it's quite simply, it's continued, it's thanks to Dodd-Frank. I mean, really, that's, and it's funny, I hate to, sometimes we bash Dodd-Frank, and it's, it did a lot of good for the country in that its existence has prevented a similar credit bubble that caused the last Great Recession and both the economic recession and the real estate recession. Because keep in mind, those really are two, not necessarily, they're not the same event. They could be mutually exclusive. You could have a real estate recession without a general recession, and a general recession without a real estate recession. But one of the unique aspects of the 2008 recession was that it was both an economic recession and a real estate recession. And the passage of Dodd-Frank in 2012 and the subsequent regulations that were laid down over the ensuing several years, and Dodd-Frank was implemented largely over the course of a 3-year period, put such constraints on how and who banks and alternative lenders like Pacific Private Money can lend to. They've really changed the entire atmosphere for borrowing, and there were some unintended consequences. And Edward, you and I had lunch with a friend today who's in the media that we were talking to about those unintended consequences. And one of those unintended consequences are that people with fixed incomes living in a home with gobs of equity can be very challenged on trying to borrow against that equity. But companies like Pacific Private Money and those of us in the alternative real estate financing space, we actually have the regulations are different with us, and as long as we can calculate if we stay within certain guidelines, we can make loans that the banks won't make. And probably the biggest difference between our loans and bank loans are that banks now pretty much just lend solely based on your numbers, your credit score, your income, your assets. They look at all of those. You got to check off all those boxes. The story might be really great that you have as to why you need the money or why you're coming them to, I want to buy this house and here's my income. well, you're self-employed, and how come you don't have a lot of reserves? Well, I use my money in my business. I mean, there's just a
Yeah.
lot of if you're self-employed and you've tried to get bank financing, you know this, you know how challenging it can be. So oftentimes, out of frustration, they turn to alternative lenders like Pacific Private Money, even though our money is quite a bit more expensive, sometimes double the price of bank financing. But the just the utter convenience and ease and friendliness of being able to get the loan done, and the quickness and the speed under which we can finance. Now you've captured the real estate, and you've got all the time you need to go to your mortgage broker or your banker and say, okay, well, what do I need to do to refinance this loan? I own the real estate now, and help me um, get approved. And if you've got 90 to 120 days, generally speaking, you can probably, unless your credit's just hammered,
Yeah.
but generally speaking, your mortgage broker can work with you, and you can get those reserves to where they need to be, or provide that seasoning. Or if you've recently changed jobs, maybe you got, maybe the magic number is 6 months, and you need a couple more months to pass that 6 month mark for,
So you
the
guys
last
feel
job
you guys
change.
feel a need.
We fill a need,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And so, anyway, talking to this friend down in Southern California, he was just really, really excited at the prospects for the economy in the next couple of years, and that the likelihood of a recession it just, even if we end up going into one, it just feels like it's going to be a relatively soft landing. So
Okay.
more will be revealed, but so far, there aren't any indicators out there to say that, to predict that anything bad's going to happen.
All right. When we come back, I want to talk about how well the fund is doing, because you increased the interest rate yet again in this low interest rate environment. I think it was 7.6, 7.7%.
Yeah, we're actually better than last year, which is interesting.
Yeah.
We've actually, most mortgage pool funds have gone down. We've gone up. We'll
Okay,
talk more
we'll talk
about
about
that
that.
next
All
month.
right. Second trivia question. What country offered Albert Einstein its presidency in 1952? Popular guy. Want to make a quick mention here also for the Hornblower, because you know what? Eat, drink, and be merry aboard the yacht this season, the holiday season, with the Hornblower cruises and events. Enjoy incredible views of the twinkling city lights, the Golden Gate, and more as you cruise the bay. Gather with friends or family on a holiday dining cruise. Visit Hornblower Cruise or hornblower.com for reservations. Stay with us. The best of investing is going to be right back. Okay. That was 8:35.
What's the next one?
The next one is 7:18. Let's see. Segment do. So when Lisa wraps presents, what do? Act surprised? Oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, I don't think I took a picture, but and actually Kimberly wrapped most of the presents, so I misspoke there. I just remembered that she had,
Close enough.
Lisa gave her a whole bunch of, hey, can you wrap these for me? So she did this great job. So
Excellent.
So the whole Christmas tree is full of prezzies.
That's very good. We always like that. Yeah, Eve was starting to do that, and I helped her out a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. One more time, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hoff, president of Pacific Private Money. Second trivia question was, what country offered Albert Einstein its presidency in 1952?
Sweden.
No. Israel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Being of Jewish descent and helping to end World War II, I guess that'll give you a presidency nomination.
I didn't know that from my study of history.
But he turned it down. He liked the United States better. Of course, we didn't just offer him presidency because he wasn't I guess he wasn't born here. So anyway, okay, so we teased the audience with, cut the break, about how the Pacific Private Money Fund actually has increased its yield. Tell us about that.
So the Pacific Private Money Fund is a mortgage pool fund that we launched in 2013. So it's been in existence for about 6.5 years now. And when we launched it, our goal was to try to produce a conservative yield based on real estate loans at around 8%. And we were able to do that for several years. And then, with downward pressure on interest rates and interest rates in general, long-term, short-term going down, there was pressure on private money loan rates, which is another word for the type of loans that we do at Pacific Private Money. The downward pressure, caused the average loan rate to go down a little bit. So last year in 2018 was actually the ebb of the 6-year production period of the fund. We were down to close to 7.5% on our distributed yield. Well, it looks like we're going to end the year this year at about 7.7, maybe even 7.8. And what's interesting is that I pretty much was telling our clients, those who would call and go, how do you think the fund's going to do in 2019? I said, based on all of the other funds in California and how they're trending downward, it wouldn't surprise me if we, produced in the low sevens.
Yeah.
So, again, there's, we try not to compete on the low end of the market with some of the other lenders out there. We try not to price compete. As I'd like to tell people, I don't want to contribute to the commoditization of alternative lending. I'd like to think that we provide, other non-monetary benefits to a borrower, and there are many.
Like honesty?
Well, honesty, reliability, absolute certainty of closure.
Yeah.
Those things are important. And if you absolutely need to buy that, you absolutely need to close on that contract, or you're going to lose your deposit.
Can't mess around.
If the money's 8% or 9%, is that really the most important thing to you?
No, it's a certainty of making sure you can close.
Yeah. So we get people all the time that call us and say, I just got a quote from a guy down the street, 7.5. Great, take it. Well, wait a minute, what could you do? It's like, because they always ask if you can match it, and no, we don't do price matching. That's not how it works here. You tell us the story, and we'll tell you what we can do for you, and we try to lend our money in a fairly narrow band. Because our cost of capital is a certain amount, and we don't like to work for free. I've got payroll. I mean, my employees expect to get paid, and they want year-end bonuses, and they want medical, coverage, and cost of that only goes up, and utilities only go so overhead.
Wait a minute, so you can't tell the employees, I'm sorry, you don't get paid this week because someone negotiated interest rate down.
Yeah. So anyway, so the fund, which is an unleveraged fund, meaning we don't use leverage to try to I don't want to say artificially boost, but the use of leverage can allow you can enhance the yields that you distribute to your fund members. But it surprised me. So at almost 7.75, probably thereabouts to end the year, I'm pretty impressed. I'm happy, and it's really, it's a mixed bag of loan types and loan rates and borrowers that make that up. We got a $50 million portfolio of loans, and we're going to continue to grow that portfolio. People call us regularly and say, hey, I've got, 800 to $1 million to invest. How fast can you place the money? Or can you use the money? Some people just, they don't know, because you can call some funds in California and they'll tell you, we're sitting on $25 million of capital right now, and deal flow is ebbing. And so, you could send us a check, but we don't know when we're going to be able to activate that money. And we're not that way. We do more advertising than just about anybody in our industry for the size of our company. And even companies that are bigger than us, very few of them have the kind of budget that we've committed to promoting the company name Pacific Private Money. And it's very well known in among mortgage brokers and realtors in California, which is where we get the bulk of our referral leads from. We call them our referral partner network of realtors and mortgage brokers and bankers. And because we get a lot of good deal flow, we can be very choosy about the type of loans we make. And because we're continue to make loans, we're always looking for more money. So when someone calls us and says, or maybe an existing investor says, hey, I just sold some property, I've got $1 million, and I'm trying to think what I want to do with it. Maybe I don't want to buy real estate right now, but could you use it in your fund? And the answer is always, heck yeah. We welcome new liquidity. So if you call a fund and they're out there paying all of somewhere around low 6% range, which is very common among a lot of California funds, and then they also tell you that they're sitting on, too much capital right now, and you'll have to wait, you really should consider giving us a call at Pacific Private Money. We're at pacificprivatemoney.com. We're also at 415-883-2150. If you're an accredited investor and you need to be accredited to qualify, thanks to government regulations, to be able to invest in our fund, do give us a call and we can send you some information. We're very much a soft sell when it comes to raising capital for our fund. We believe in traction as opposed to, overt promotion. Well, you might say, well, what are you doing the radio show for? Aren't you promoting? Well, yeah, we are, but we're not twisting anybody's arm to invest money with us. We give you the information. We don't ask for the check. You tell us when you want to write the check. Anyway, for more information, go pacificprivatemoney.com.
All right, stay with us. Here's our last trivia question. What is the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet? Call 888-912-1190. The first caller with correct answer is going to win that tanning certificate. What is the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet? Stay with us. You're listening to The Best of Investing. We're going to be right back.
All right. I know that one.
You know that one? All right. Oh, excuse me. Talk a little bit about the fund, the ins and outs. Actually, we'll get into email because that way.
Oh, okay.
Talks about the early withdrawal penalty.
Early withdrawal helps prevent pregnancy.
And we are recording this for YouTube, by the way.
I didn't say the F word.
I know. Do you remember the movie Moonraker with James Bond?
Yeah.
At the very, very end, he's having relations with this woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming back from space,
Yeah.
and one of the professor guys or whatever, he was like, what is Bond doing? Because they couldn't tell where the spaceship was coming, the rocket's coming back in. He goes, I think he's attempting re-entry.
Oh God, they were so terrible on this.
Rated PG.
That's right.
Holy smokes. Okay, this is 818.
818. All right.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing one more time. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hoff, president of Pacific Private Money. Last trivia question was, what is the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet?
Delta.
As in Animal House, Delta House.
Delta House, yeah.
Not just Delta.
Or
that's
the
right.
California Delta, where you can go boating and fishing and
Have all kinds of fun.
go visit the lighthouse.
That's right, a Lighthouse Resort. Okay, here's the email that comes in. It says, I understand that there is an early withdrawal penalty if I withdraw funds from your fund. What is the break-even point? So first you have to explain about what the prepayment penalty, early withdrawal penalty is.
So most syndications, which, our fund, the Pacific Private Money Fund, it's a mortgage pool fund. Most funds are syndications. In fact, a common syndication, you might hear the term, it's a Reg D fund. That's because it's designed under Regulation D, and it's a security, and you can invest in it. And these mortgage pool funds generally have a minimum amount of time that you have to invest in. In fact, it's not uncommon to see, a syndication that you might consider investing in. They're also called private placements. Sometimes they have as much as 5 to 7 year holds where you can't get out, or if you need to get out, there's a early redemption penalty or fee. On mortgage pool funds, a 2-year minimum used to be pretty common, and nowadays a 1-year hold is probably the most common, and that's trying to make it easy for people to get in and make them feel like they're not locking the money up for long periods of time, because we all know how fast a year goes by. So interestingly enough, we launched the fund in 2013, and we've had a total of 250 investors, and some of those folks have gone on their merry way. They've redeemed their investment, but not a single one of those people have ever needed to redeem partially or in full in the first 12 months. So we've never actually had to charge any investor in our fund the redemption penalty. But it is written in our private placement memorandum. So our offering does say that if you have to pull it out in the first year, there's a 3% early redemption fee. And so if you want to know when's the break-even point for that 3%, well, the break-even point is basically after 6 months or less, actually, because if we're paying at a rate close to 8%, then basically after 6 months you've earned about approximately 4.5% on your money. And so if something comes up and you need to get it out, well, then you would incur that 3% redemption fee, and you would have essentially broken even.
Yeah.
So, but again, like no one, it's never happened. But
But the important thing too is that there's no fee getting in and there's no fee coming out.
right, if you keep it in for a year, there's no fee going in and no fee going out. Again, this is very similar among mortgage pool funds. That's not necessarily unique among our fund. If you were to ask me, so what's unique about the Pacific Private Money Fund compared to other California-based mortgage pool funds, and I would say, well, one of the ways that we're unique is that we just think we have a stronger deal flow at Pacific Private Money, so we can really be discerning about the types of loans we put in there, and we've been able to conduct the business of the fund in such a way that it pays a higher yield than many other funds. And one of the reasons is that the types of loans that we make are, we're not chasing down the rate in the fix and flip lending category. That is a highly competitive area of lending in California, is the fix and flip, and we tend to stick more towards our transitional bridge loan. That's the product that helps homeowners buy their next home without having to sell the home they're in currently. We also do ground up construction in areas like, for example, the fire ravaged areas. We've got several loans to builders in the Santa Rosa area right now that are rebuilding some homes in the Fountain Grove neighborhood. And just, they're well collateralized junior liens, i.e. seconds, that you can get a higher rate for, where we feel so confident in the value of that home that there really is just as close to zero probability that we're going to lose money on that loan. So there are smart junior liens you can make, not the high LTV where you're lending someone up to 80% of their equity. We stay away from those. But there's just, we just have a mixture, I think, of really good loans in our fund that pay higher rates and rates that, we're not having to compete with other lenders.
One other aspect I know that's different is that the 1 year hold period, when you add money to the fund, you don't start a brand new hold period for that new money. You give them credit for the first time that they invested.
Yeah,
that's a big point. Yeah.
I like being flexible in things like that are in the interest of the fund member, because I know fund managers who operate their fund by the book. Just like there's just no subjective.
It was by the book in favor of them.
Right. Well, yeah, right. It's just like, if you invest, if you open up an account at $50,000, if that's their minimum investment, then you add another 56 months later. Well, that second 50 has its own 12-month period attached to it in most other funds. But at Pacific, not only do we not do that on an account that you open, but let's say you open up a second or a third account. If you open up a second or a third account and you've had an account with us for a year, we don't reset the clock for even that new account. We treat all of your accounts as, hey, it's you. You're investing with us. We want to thank you for your investment. We know you're not going to treat this like a money market account and put it in and take it out and put it in and take it out. And no one has in the entire history of the fund. No one's abused those what I'll call privileges. In fact, if anything, most people add money to it, and when they take money out, they apologize.
I'm sorry for taking my whole money out.
Yeah, I've got this one client who came by and she gives me a Christmas gift every single year, and she's one of our largest investors in the fund, and she's just a doll, and she comes by, and so she dropped off some poinsettias, and there were 2 cards. One was a Christmas card, and the other one was a thank you card with a check in it, and just a little, she likes to add, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to account.
Wait, how do you know that wasn't the Christmas present?
Oh, well, it didn't have my name on it.
Oh, okay.
It was written out to the fund, so that's where it went. And so we love clients who just, they just continue to add and grow to their investment, and it's been for the life of the fund, which again it's been since 2013. It's been a very reliable income stream for those who like to take the monthly interest income, and for those that do not need the interest income, or maybe they're investing through their IRA and they're not taking IRA distributions yet, you can invest for growth. And if you're a growth investor, you actually get the added yield component from the compounded effect. And so the compounded yield for 2019 looks like it's going to end up being right at 8%.
That's great.
Yeah, which is, again,
Really?
it's really good. And, other features of the fund, it does qualify for the QBID 20% deduction from income. That QBID stands for Qualified Business Investment deduction. And so for those who qualify, let's say you earned $10,000 worth of interest, you'd only be paying interest on $8,000. Again, for more information, you would need to contact us or your tax professional to see if you qualify for that deduction. But there's a lot of little nuances to investing in mortgage debt that could be in your favor. So
All right,
for more information, give us a call.
All right, stay with us. The Best of Investing. We'll be right back with some closing comments. Shoot, went over about 18 seconds on that one. Sorry,
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, we'll shorten the next one up.
Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem.
Will they break in on the? Do they have to? Are they hard?
No.
hard
Well,
breaks?
they're hard breaks, but because I give them a little bit of time,
Yeah.
they can kind of get a little bit flexible.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good. For more information, call. And now we got to. This year's been so great. I usually get you a Christmas present. I didn't really. I mean, I get you a Christmas present. Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
a birthday present. I mean, I didn't go out and
okay.
get a separate birthday one.
It's so not even on my radar.
I figured being 60 is enough of a gift. I give you life.
Living to 60, yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Oh, I feel great about it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have no issues whatsoever. And,
Well, but because you can keep it in shape and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, it's all my own fault. I got no one to blame but me.
yeah. I think Dave's birthday is the 22nd. I think he's on the 22nd. He turned 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll come in with white hair and spray paint. I did that on my 40th. Eva threw me a party at Servino's, and I came in normal,
Yeah.
right? And then I went to the bathroom, and then I had this white spray paint, and I
Yeah.
had like a Florida type shirt and a cane. I came back, and I just turned 40. People. Okay,
Let's see, what do we
4
wanna
minutes
wrap up
to
with?
go. How do you want to wrap this bad boy up?
I don't know.
Okay, we don't have any fun event. Oh, the typical deal.
Okay, yeah. You can throw the question out there.
All right.
And you tell me when you want to wrap up.
Okay, here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hoff, president of Pacific Private Money. So, Mark, usually throw an event once a month. December is kind of off the table because we're getting to the end in Christmas time. Sometime maybe January, February, another event.
Yeah, we'll start announcing those. People who are on our email distribution network, they'll hear about our events, and we do different types of events throughout the Bay Area where we will you and I will present the fund. What's going to change a little bit in 2020 is it looks like we're going to be launching a new fund. And so we'll be talking a little bit about that. That one's going to be geared towards just doing construction loans, and we're designing it to produce a bit of a higher yield than the existing fund, and you would expect that because it's construction loans. You can generally charge a little bit more. So that's upcoming. That's newsworthy. But we will absolutely be doing. I don't know if we're going to do some cooperative events with others like we did in October with Steve Moskowitz. We'll have to talk to our folks about that. But it's there's a lot of ways to learn about what we do, and at any time you can come visit us at our office. Even we'll do small groups in our downtown Novato office, because we've got the ability to meet privately with small groups. We've even done presentations for groups up to 20 in our office, but we do like to kind of move around the Bay Area. And if you're out there listening and you are wondering if we're going to come at or close to your town, please send us an email at mark@pacificprivatemoney.com. Would be a great way to communicate with us and ask us if we're going to be in your town, because we're always looking for new places and new venues where we can share about the investment opportunities with Pacific Private Money, how to invest in mortgage debt, all the ins and outs of the mortgage pool fund.
All right. So give us a deal of the week, maybe something along the lines of with the fires. Why would the people who lost their house in Fountain Grove need you versus a bank?
Well, we've been promoting to homeowners rebuilding that, hey, if you run out of money because your insurance company only gave you X and the cost of rebuilding your home turns out to be Y, which is happening with increasing frequency, we let them know that, if the bank says no, we can be an option for a construction completion loan. We have not done one yet, but we've had some conversations with folks about that. What we have done, though, is there are a lot of homeowners who've elected not to rebuild. They've taken their insurance payoff and they've moved elsewhere, and they're selling their lots to contractors. And many of those contractors, contractors in general are an interesting breed. Many of them don't qualify for bank financing, or some of them, they're just really good with their numbers, and they would rather enjoy the ease and convenience of using alternative finance through companies like ours to get a construction loan. And so I think we've got 4 construction loans right now on rebuilds with Fountain Grove, and those homes are selling like hotcakes once they're completed. I mean, there's not a lot of new homes being built in the Bay Area, particularly not in the North Bay, Marin, Sonoma County. So those are examples of loans we're doing. And then, like we said earlier, if you're someone who's feeling like you're trapped in your home, you've got lots of equity, you want to move down or you want to move up, and your mortgage broker says, you got to sell first. Well, we have an option for you. You need to give us a call at Pacific Private Money. We can make you a transitional bridge loan and make your life and your wife much happier as a result. For more information, pacificprivatemoney.com.
Very good. All right. We're going to cut out. Here's our thoughts for the day. And we're having more thoughts on the importance of walking. We did this last week, too. My grandpa started walking 5 miles a day when he was 60. Now he's 97 years old. We have no idea where he is. And if you're going to try cross-country skiing, start with a small country. All right. Tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away more free prizes for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, wishing you the best of investing. So long. All right, that gave them enough time to do whatever they need to do.
What do they do? What is that voodoo that they do?
The music and the commercials and that and the editing.
Yeah.
This, that, and the editing. So you guys just enjoying Christmas by your just
Well, Christmas Eve we go to my sister's.
Okay, Noreen.
So there's 4 of us and my mom, and then everyone's family.
Oh,
so there's lots of there's husbands, there's kids, there's cousins, there's nieces and nephews.
That's
So
fun.
that'll be good. And then that's Tuesday night, Christmas Eve, and then Wednesday we'll just do Newton.
Do Newton.
We'll hang around in our jammies all day, and I'll
Yep.
go cook something up.
That is always fun with kids like that.
Yeah. We used to have these red flannel pajamas that were our Christmas pajamas. I don't know what we have now.
You mean as a family?
Yeah. We all wore them.
Really? Yeah,
The girls outgrew theirs, and I think the moths had their way with mine.
Oh. Yeah, take a picture of that and send it to us.
Yeah, it's
For
fun.
sure. I gotta let this thing go for 13 more minutes. So we can go da 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 da
Yeah,
da.
I really need to get back in. I had forgotten until you reminded me this morning that we were going to stop on the way back, so I need to.
You headed back to the office?
Yeah.
I sent you an email just to remind you to find out about from NEMA, like the REIT, accredited.
Oh yeah. That would be actually Beta can
Or
answer
Beta,
that,
okay.
and she owes me.
Wait, she knows about whether or not you have to be accredited for that? I thought that would be more.
She
of a
knows
legal
all
thing.
of the REIT ins and outs. She's
Okay.
an expert on that. I would be, in fact, I'd be surprised if she didn't know the answer to that. If she doesn't, then that would be a Kevin Kim
Or Kevin.
He would be
Yeah.
the next one. So Kevin Kim
That's
does
right.
the securities, and Nima Beta does the also does it's a REIT conversion specialist who knows a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm carrying around these Starbucks gift cards and Pete's. I know, like, I'll start using these darn things.
Yeah. We have Starbucks right here.
Yeah.
I see a Starbucks near close to you too.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, it's fun. At first I thought Monday was a surprise, but you
No.
know obviously about it because Andrea said bring your mom. So
yeah, I suggested it. Yeah. I think I call my mom and remind her. All right.
busy.
Yes. Oh. Yeah, I'm sure Dave's gonna have a big blowout, but I don't know. He says he invites me, but I actually don't get his emails anymore, so I don't know.
Maybe unfriended him. Can you imagine what that would be like? The ring of
Yeah.
the circle.
Yeah. Well, I know most of those guys from years ago, and they've stayed in that group, and I don't know. It'd be cool. I might crash it. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, sir. I will see you tomorrow for the Katie Green.
Yes, that's right. I was gonna say, what are you doing coming up tomorrow? All right.
All right, sir.
Good. Have a good evening.
Yes, you too. For December 14th and promo for December 21, 2019. Boom. All right, that's that. We got about 10 minutes more to go on this one. I'm not going to say any jokes. I'm just going to have to watch me do things around the office here. I realize it's kind of boring, but unfortunately, that's what we got. It's because we did the show in too much time, and we have to run this thing for 56 minutes. Just 5 more minutes to go. I know it's kind of boring, but We're out of here.